Okay.
Nicole, we're here with who I think I can very confidently say your favorite content creator's favorite content creator.
100%.
I say that with like there's no doubt in my mind. It's James.
What?
It's
It's
James.
James.
Welcome back to the pod, James.
Sorry, I just
Well,
said that as if like I was saying the It's Corn song. It's James. He's a big lump with knobs.
hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks so much for having me.
I'm
Thank you for being
I'm
here.
so glad that you're here with the two of us because obviously some people may remember almost 2 years ago now, which is crazy. You and I hosted an episode when we were both at Formula E in Portland,
Yes.
and you were
Yeah.
my co-host for the weekend. So I'm
Yeah.
very, very excited that Kate now gets the honor.
Yeah. The FOMO that I had, I actually don't like to think about that actually. So moving on from that weekend because
It was so much
I
fun.
don't like to think about me not being involved. Makes me sad.
It's I gotta tell y'all, it's so cool that we are, I don't know, friends or distant acquaintances,
We're friends.
because y'all are like one of the first Formula One accounts I ever followed.
Oh my
So
god.
and so when you guys followed me back, I'm like, oh my gosh, they followed. I was very excited. And just to be mutuals with y'all is just such a real treat, you know.
Mutuals.
It's been really fun to watch you grow, James. I think when
Yeah.
we first kind of became internet friends, seeing like the content that where you were like to just really start to niche in on motorsports has been like really fun to watch, and like you are doing some of like my favorite content across the board on the
Every
internet right
video
now.
that you post goes triple platinum in my house.
Yeah.
Well,
On
not on
every
the
device.
algorithm.
Yeah. Like
Kate's algorithm,
like when
though.
I say your favorite content creator's favorite content creator, in my house it's also your favorite content creator's husband's favorite content creator, because
Hell yeah.
Nick's your number one fan. I hope you know that. Like he'll just send me your stuff and I'm like, yeah, I've seen it. Obviously I've seen it because James is my friend.
He's just sitting there watching, giggling with his slutty little rugby shorts on.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the thighs out for James.
Yeah, he's rocking the
loving it.
Canterbury shorts.
Always. It just feels like this just feels right. I don't know. The three of us on the mic together just like feels
Long time coming.
like coming home.
I'm sure people
almost.
are probably listening being like, this simply cannot be the first time that James has been on the podcast. And while it's not entirely true, but the three of us together, everything is right. Mercury is not in retrograde. All of the planets are aligned. Things are going great.
Before we move on, I have to tell you that I have told your gooped and gagged joke so many times since I heard it. Like I never took credit for it. I never took credit. I would tell the joke. It would elicit a huge laughter, and then I would be like, "That's not my joke. It's from this podcast, Two Girls One Formula." Or formerly known as See You on the Internet, formerly known as Two Girls One Formula. But oh man,
yeah, we're rebranded, unbranded, rebranded again. You know us, you love us.
But I am so pumped to get to talk to you guys. I feel like we're on the same wavelength when it comes to like sense of humor, especially in this space where it often takes itself maybe too seriously.
100%.
Yeah, you could say that one again.
What's kind of your take on the space right now, on like F1 as a cultural moment right now?
I think the space it's in a weird space because I think people. I think first of all, I think in the U.S. at least, Formula One kind of tapered off after the 2023 season, or 2022, 2023 season. Like it was so hot in 2021 because we had like the season finale went down to the final race, last few laps, peak Drive to Survive. Everybody's on the edge of their seat. And then 2022 and 2023 were kind of, anticlimactic because Red Bull and Max Verstappen specifically were so dominant. And then, last season, jumping 1 year and going to the last season, 2025, it was a great season. Like, we had multiple winners from multiple different constructors. three drivers in the mix of the season finale. It was a really, really solid season, but I feel like a lot of the American audience had sort of left by that point.
Yeah.
I now think they're really struggling with these new regulations. I do feel like long term they'll figure it out. It'll be fine. But, you know, they're getting a lot of ridicule from all parts of the industry, from the casual fan, from the hardcore fan, from the former drivers, from team members, analysts. Like, nobody seems super happy with what's happening right now. So they're in a weird limbo stage right now.
Yeah. And I feel like even in like the content creation space too, it just feels like also everyone's just kind of like, what are we doing right now? Like, because I think it was such a concept of like right place, right time for so long. Like, you had the pandemic, Drive to Survive came out, and then like one of the most exciting F1 seasons. And it just like all kind of exploded at this one moment. And then, like you were saying, like the seasons after that, it kind of just went back to normal. Like, because you think pre 2021 season, everyone was so ready for Lewis to not win anymore, and Mercedes, because they had been so dominant for so long that it just was like kind of boring. Everyone was like, okay, next. So then 2021 was exciting because Lewis was actually battling with someone. And then the next season, it kind of just went back to what it had been before, except this time it was Red Bull and Max and not Mercedes and Lewis. So it was just kind of like, if you had been watching the sport, you were like, yeah, this is kind of how it usually is. It's not always like 2021, but the whole boom from Drive to Survive had brought people in at that point. And then content creation like skyrocketed like around that time. And I think we all content created a little too close to the sun for a little bit there. And like you mentioned, the two girls went see you on the internet for a little bit because we had kind of an epic burnout at one point, and then now we're back and we're having fun again. But I do feel like in like the content creation space too, it's like kind of hitting this like weird plateau of like, if you're in it, you're really in it. But if you weren't necessarily in it for the highs and the lows, then like I think some people seem to be maybe fizzling out. It just seems like it's in this like ripe for the phoenix to rise from these like weird ashes we're in.
Possibly. And I think we're also in a era in our lives and in society where like a lot of people have just logged off. Like I think engagement across the board is down because like, I don't want to get too political, but like we're on the verge of like World War III. Like so much terrible shit is happening in the world today that people are exhausted and just to tune out from everything, people are just severing themselves from social media, period. So,
for sure.
I look at like my engagement numbers now compared to a year ago, 2 years ago, it's much lower. And I don't think that's necessarily a reflection on the quality of content that I put out. I think
surely not.
I think it's mainly because like people just aren't tuning in right now.
Well, I also think too, like, obviously we know kind of around the pandemic and when Drive to Survive came out, F1 was bought out by Liberty Media, private equity. Their whole thing was, we got to make some money here. And we're kind of hitting like maybe some could say similar to Taylor Swift, an overexposure moment where there's like so much of F1 that people are kind of like, okay, need a little bit of break from this. And I'm curious, like, and obviously too, like all of the races, like all of the US races are now like so expensive. And so it's kind of like, are we at an inflection point? Are people like, are we going to see it come back down a little bit? Like, are we in a bubble essentially?
Sorry, can we have our dog say hi right now?
Oh,
Our dog
Ernie,
just entered
come
the
here.
frame.
Come here.
I'm obsessed with him, by the way, James. Like every single video you post of him, he is the star of the show.
I don't make enough stuff with him because he's just I don't make enough videos with him. But this is Ernie. He's almost 9.
Oh my god!
We adopted him almost a year ago. He's so sweet.
He's the sweetest little guy.
Oh, man.
He looks like a little stuffed animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My family's always had this breed of dog. It's a Westie.
A Westie.
White Terrier. And our last Westie lived to be like 18 and a half.
Wow.
But also was the world's worst dog. He was a monster. And he's like the opposite of that. He's so chill.
I'm obsessed with him. Okay, enough about overexposure of F1. We're on F1 podcast here. Let's get into some motorsport. But first,
yeah, we're gonna continue overexposing F1 on this podcast.
But first, before we get into F1 a little bit more, James, I want to hear, how was your weekend at Indy, Long Beach?
Long Beach was amazing. I just went as a fan. I wasn't like working or making content or anything, but my wife Jenny and I went. We were guests at both Honda and Andretti, so we were chilling in their hospitality, which was amazing. But we also had grandstand tickets because not every race has trackside hospitality. So if you want to watch the race, you either got to find general admission area or buy tickets. So we bought a grandstand ticket so we had somewhere to watch. But also while we were there, Benito dos Santos, who is the head of brand partnerships at Arrow McLaren, who I've become friends with,
Flex.
I texted him and he invited Jenny and I and gave us a tour of the Arrow McLaren garage. And we also went to their trackside hospitality. So we were just
hospitality hopping.
Embarrassment of riches. Yeah. But
the greed that they talk about in the Bible.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm the 1% when it comes to hospitality wristbands.
He's so unattainable. His lifestyle is so unattainable now.
But we had a blast. I ran into a lot of people that I've become friends with over the last few years. Drivers that I've made content with or interviewed, people that work for different teams, people who work at IndyCar, fans that I've met at races or met online. So it's always so much fun. That's my favorite part about going to races is the social human connection. On top of watching cars go fast and be real loud.
Yeah.
It's truly the best. I love, again, the reason I got into F1 for various reasons, but the thing that really sold me is I went to my first race and I was like, okay, this is fucking sick because everyone is so cool here and fun. And also the cars are loud and fast. And that's the best part.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And so we were at MotoGP, you were at Long Beach. We were kind of just...
Y'all were crushing it at MotoGP, by the way.
We were having so much fun.
We truly had so much fun.
Yeah.
I felt like I was high on life there. I was it was crazy. I had so much fun. Nicole knows, I've been talking about wanting to get into MotoGP for
she has
years now. Years. And it's just... I don't know. Sometimes getting into a whole new series just really kind of stresses me out. I'm I have to do it right. I have to do all the homework. I have to really do this. So going to the race really was that for me. And it was so fun. Also, huge flex. Their races are 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Sign me up. 45 minutes. You're in and out. And it's so much fun, but I feel I don't know, I talked to so many people about F1. I'm listen, we're gonna watch the first 10 laps. Then if you need to go to the bathroom, you want to just chat, we can catch up, and then the last 10 laps. MotoGP, that's basically the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's so quick, it's so fun. Yeah, we had a great time.
Is there always just one race?
Yeah, so their weekends are essentially F1 sprint weekends is there every weekend. So they always have a sprint race.
Okay.
So they have practice sessions, qualifying, and then they have the sprint race on Saturday and then the regular race on Sunday. But it's also cool because their practice sessions actually matter. So they take their fastest times from practice, and that determines whether you have to do Q1 or if you can go directly to Q2 for qualifying.
Wow, straight to callbacks. Love it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of fun that every single session that you tune in for MotoGP matters.
Yeah,
something's happening.
If a MotoGP race on Sunday is 45 minutes, how long is a sprint race?
It's
I think it's
20.
What is it?
25 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. Because what is it,
nothing.
20 laps or something?
Yeah.
It's really quick. Well, they don't pit at all.
Okay.
during their races. So the only time that they can pit is if they have to change the bike. They have two bikes. One bike is set up for dry conditions and one set up for wet conditions. So like if they start the race and it's dry, but then it starts raining, they can pit to get on their like wet bike. But that's it. And also they don't have any communication with their team because
interesting.
which I thought was like crazy. So I guess on their like dash, they can send like symbols or like one word like phrases, but for the most part,
Like
it's
you
just
up.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, literally. Yeah. But like they don't have any comms in their helmets or anything because they're like so on the brink of basically life and death in those bikes. Like if they were to be like taking a turn and the team like went on and said something, like it could be jarring for them to the point where like they could fuck up and just like totally crash and
Yeah.
hurt themselves. So they don't have any comms. So it's essentially like they'll have strategies beforehand, but during the race it's like
Just
all the
them.
rider.
Yeah, they're just out there.
Wow.
They're their own strategists. So like essentially they are doing what Charles and Lewis have to do every single weekend, but they don't have to deal with Ferrari strategists in their ears saying anything.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, so we're big MotoGP girls.
TLDR of MotoGP.
Yeah. So
okay, I gotta get to a race.
So
you do.
The three of us will take over MotoGP next.
Love it.
Okay. One thing we want to talk about is last week we discussed how Max is always, as of late, saying that he's going to retire, that he's like, I'm done. So what is your take on this? And then also follow up, now Alonso is out here saying that he's about to retire too. And
no, he's saying
I thought he recently said he hopes this is not his last season.
Well, he said he hopes it's not his last season, but he said if what's it called? Aston Martin doesn't make gains into the midfield by like halfway through this season, he might reconsider.
Oh, interesting.
Because he was like, I can't keep doing this.
I don't see him ever leaving motorsport. Like, I think he's going to continue to drive in some capacity, even when he's not in F1. Like, he is the only living driver right now that realistically could win the motorsport Triple Crown.
Yeah.
I think when he's done with F1, I think he's going to try to win the Indy 500 again. I know he's like attempted a few times with McLaren, a few times like I think one time he didn't even start the race, another time he like crashed out. But like, I think that's going to be his like swan song, is trying to win the Indy 500.
Yeah, I think so too. But I'm just like, I can see Alonso in this sport for literally ever. There's something about it. I'm like, it's giving that TikTok audio. I'm never leaving. Like that's him.
I could see Alonso like booping in to the paddock with his little credential, like on a Rascal or a Jazzy scooter, or like a walker. And then he gets into the car and he fucking puts it on pole.
They're like lifting him out of like his like wheelchair as he gets older. They're like, here, and they're like helping him into the car, and then he's like, all right.
But he just rips
it. As long as I have my hands.
Still making it into Q3 every time.
Yeah, no, that man's not going anywhere. Like,
although guys, he is a dad now. Him and Max are dads.
It's true.
James, as a father, what's your take on it?
I mean, I think it totally shifts. If you are a father who like cares about your kids, it totally shifts your perspective, and you want to be with them as much as you can. And it just totally changes your priorities.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I can, because he's a dad now, like I do feel like there is some validity in that, where he's maybe realizing like, okay, I actually don't care to do this forever, especially with Aston Martin, if we're going to be trash for the rest of the season, and I don't want to be trapped here.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I can also see on the flip side him being like, yeah, psych.
See, and I'm fully convinced Max is retiring. Like, Max doesn't care at all anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, I've spoken about this with other people before, and I think Max Verstappen is one of those guys. I think Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso is like in a sliding door situation, could have been a 5-time world champion. He was so close to winning 3 other times. Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso seem to be very focused on their legacy and how they're going to be remembered in motorsport. I think that's why Lewis is still in Formula One, because he wants to win an 8th championship and be considered the GOAT above Schumacher. I think the fact that Alonso's been close so many times and has still has won 2 world championships as opposed to 5, which he could have, is what's kept him in the sport for such a long time. I think Max doesn't care about that. Max cares more so about being in the present day. Like, what am I doing right now? Am I enjoying what I'm doing right now? I don't care how people are going to look at my career 40 years, 50 years from now.
It's so healthy of him.
I think he'll leave. Yeah.
100%. My God, we could all learn a thing or two from Max being like, I don't care what people say. As long as I'm happy, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm rewatching Ted Lasso right now, and trigger warning, Nicole. I'm rewatching Ted Lasso right now. But season 1, and it's just the scene where Ted's like, "Oh, Jamie, would you rather be a panda or a lion?" And he's like, "I'm me. Why would I want to be anything else?" And he's like, "I don't think you understand how mentally healthy that really is." That's literally how I feel about Max. Max is just like, am I happy right now? What am I doing? Do I like what I'm doing? I'm not doing it if I don't care. And it's like, that's people make jokes that Max has all this trauma, but I'm like, he is so mentally well in the way of him just simply doing what makes him happy.
Yeah.
He seems to be one of the more well-balanced drivers on the grid, actually.
Yeah.
However, he is considered to be like the villain. Everyone is
that was the narrative that I think Drive to Survive and Formula One crafted around him, because people are more intrigued when there's a very clear face and heel. But
100%.
I don't think he is that.
But who do you think, if he were to retire, who do you think is going to become the new villain on track? Like, who's primed and ready to fill that role?
George.
You think it's George?
Yeah. I mean, he's very competitive. Last year, he was in incredible form. What he was able to do in a Mercedes car that wasn't really on par with the McLaren was so impressive. And everyone sort of forgot about him because there were 3 other drivers in the hunt for the World Driver's Championship. He's like, what about me? I'm like, this is the best season I've ever had. And
everyone's like,
Kimi's
okay, George.
Yeah, but Kimi's giving a run for his money so far. But I still think he's the favorite to win the World Driver's Championship this year. And I think he doesn't mind being unlikable. I don't think he doesn't mind rubbing other drivers the wrong way. So
I think he's grown into that role. I think that when he was at Williams, I think he cared deeply about people liking him. But now I think he feels really comfortable at Mercedes, and he's just leaning into the fact that he knows he's probably going to win a championship with Mercedes at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'll depend. Because I do agree. I do think of all of the drivers on the grid, there's George. I think that George is also the most comfortable of the drivers on the grid with playing a role. I think he, and Nicole and I talk about this all the time. He and Carmen together feel so curated. The 2 of them together feel very much they understand optics, they understand branding, and they understand playing a role. I think Carmen for so long was I'm playing the role of a wag. I'm going to be one of the first ones to come in here and very publicly tag that I'm working with a stylist, and I have all these businesses that I'm running, and this is the role I'm playing, and I'm going to take part in I'm basically going to become an employee of Mercedes. I'm part of their brand. And I think George now totally understands that as well. And so I think he's very down to play the role. Okay, make me your villain. He would be totally okay with that, because I think he also understands how that plays into personal branding, partnerships, and all of those optics. But I do think that it will depend, especially on how this season goes and how everything shakes out with Kimi. Because I do also think that if they start seeing Kimi perform at George's level or potentially outperform him, then there's the potential of okay, this, teenager is coming in, and then like what will George do with that? And like how does that play into like the narrative that he
Well, then I
wants
think
to?
he becomes an actual villain and not one that he's playing, because then he's
True.
pissed. You know what I mean? Then
Yeah.
he's like, well, fuck this. Now, like,
Yeah.
I was primed to be driver number 1, and now
Yeah.
I'm gonna go actually like stick it to Mercedes.
Like a scorned lover.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree with you on how curated George and Carmen are. When I see their aesthetic, it gives old money couple that splits time between Greenwich and Palm Beach. Like they dress like very well off 60-year-old people.
Yes.
Like,
No, 100%. I have to remind myself constantly how old they are. I'm like, like these people have like, I feel like they have 5 mortgages and like grandkids that they like, and they're like summering. I'm like, oh, they're in their mid-20s. Got it.
yeah, they go skiing in Stad, which they probably do.
You know what? That's old. That's old British money, baby.
But I agree with you about Mercedes seeing how fast Kimi is progressing and seeing this young driver and being like, maybe we should prioritize him. Last year, at the end of the season, we did like an end of season recap on the WTF1 podcast, which I do not host anymore. But me and Luke Francis were talking, and we were making predictions for this season. And we did not talk before the episode, but both of us predicted that George Russell would win the World Drivers' Championship this year. And then I had a twist on that prediction where I think George Russell might end up being like Damon Hill in 1996. Damon Hill won the World Drivers' Championship in 1996 with Williams, but by halfway through the season, it was already set in stone that he was going to be replaced for 97. And so he had to go to a midfield team in 97, which was Arrows. And they had like a terrible car, and the season was nowhere near what he did in 96 with Williams. I could see someone like Max not being happy at Red Bull, wanting to like go to another team. Mercedes being like, yes, we're not going to give up an opportunity to sign Max, but we have this young kid who we feel like long-term has more upside than George.
Yeah.
Booting George mid-season, but George still winning the World Drivers' Championship this year.
Yeah.
I can see that happening.
I could see that very much playing out for sure. Yeah.
Half of me is also kind of like, okay, this just came to me
in a vision.
Sorry. But what if it's not Max? What if it's Lewis saying, "Hey, Uno reverse.
I made a grave mistake. Take me back.
Like, please. I've made a grave mistake. Toto, my man, take me back." Then Lewis replaces George. George just gets kicked off, and it's Lewis and Kimi.
Interesting.
This is what people wanted Tom Brady to do.
Yeah.
He left the Patriots. Not great after, and everyone was like,
he won a Super Bowl with the Bucks.
He did.
Yeah, but it still wasn't like.
Yeah, but no one remembers because it was Tampa. It wasn't New England.
Exactly. It's like, it's fine,
Tampa, the Buccaneers are like the Haas of the NFL.
Exactly.
Right.
And you've always said
like,
that.
Oh, he's now like thinking about retiring. He needs to come back. And everyone was painting the dream that they wanted him to come back and sign as a Patriot for like a day and then announce he was retiring so he would like retire a Patriot. And I feel as though if Ferrari, I don't think it might not be next year, it might not be the year after, but if Ferrari doesn't get their shit together, I could see a world in which Lewis is like, you want to know what? I'm retiring a Mercedes driver. Let's give it one last go.
Well, also right now, Ferrari is pissed at Mercedes, and everyone's pissed at Mercedes because the FIA let them get away with that regulation change, that loophole. And Ferrari's like, okay, well, what the fuck? Because we asked if we could do that, and you guys said no. Well, and now it's okay. And now it's okay. Well, again,
we don't ask for permission, we ask for forgiveness, Ferrari, 100%. And this is why you guys are in the positions that you're in all the time.
Well, do we think, speaking of Italians, guys, do we think any of the drivers are going to be in jail? Like, do we think there's going to be a championship? Are they all going to jail for tax fraud?
I think it was a former driver. I don't think it was a current driver.
Well, I think that was for the sex
scandal.
ring, the escort
Yeah.
ring. But they're also
okay. We're talking about the taxes.
Yeah, there's two things. There's two things happening at once here. Both
A lot
in
happening
Italy,
right
though.
now.
Two scandals happening simultaneously. All right, get your Olivia Pope hat on. We have got two scandals.
Seemingly, this news didn't make it over to Instagram because when we posted about it, everyone was like, "What are you talking about?" But F1 Twitter was ablaze last week with the news that the drivers were all being investigated for tax fraud and like tax crimes in Italy. And someone actually brought up a good point because also you do have to pay for income like that you make in the state here, and conveniently all of the states where they race, they don't have that rule, so they don't have to pay income tax in those states, by the way.
But that's right. Florida, Texas, and Nevada don't have state income tax.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
Yes. But so basically anything over 50k euros is considered a criminal offense. And so apparently they're all being investigated for this. So everyone's like, they're all going to jail. So who's going to be winning the World Driver Champion if no one's there to race? And I'm like, you know what? This is kind of the messy drama that we've been missing. There hasn't been something like this in a while, and I'm really glad that this is now.
If they're all in jail, it'll be like that movie with Keanu Reeves, The Replacements.
It's just every reserve driver is just out. There's one race where it's only reserve drivers on. That would actually be kind of sick.
They should do that as like a school spirit day, right? Like as a fun little sprint race where all of the reserve drivers get to have a race and see who wins. Like a field day type of situation, end of the season.
I remember that was one of the solutions we talked about to the sprint races. Like have a reserve driver driving the sprint races and have it be a different championship.
That would be fun. That would be fun. I would really like that.
Really fun, actually.
It would
give them some hours, give them some driving hours.
Yeah.
In the car. I like it.
You know what? Let's pitch it. Let's pitch it. What's the worst that could happen? They say no. They say no all the time.
I get so many no's.
Their favorite word is no, but nevertheless, we shall persist. But I do rewind. Would like to talk about the escort sex ring.
Okay,
but let's talk.
But who do we think it is? Sorry,
I think it's Mazepin.
I mean, that seems like a really
It feels like it just tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like who else?
Okay,
like I'm trying.
Needed. I think that's.
I'm trying to think like anyone else. I'm like, who was it? Although you and I were in the DMs and saying like potentially Pierre. Like if it's a current
one. If it was anyone currently on the grid, like I would probably say Pierre.
Yeah.
But I think what I've read is like the time doesn't match because they were all supposed to be in Bahrain doing preseason testing.
Yeah, I saw that too. So we'll see. Okay. I know we only have you for the next 13 minutes, so let's do something fun.
Because this has been zero fun so far.
Well, let's do like a fun little quick.
We'll finally get to some fun. Don't worry.
Hot laps. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick draft. Okay.
Okay.
And you're gonna draft your perfect team for an escape room.
Okay.
Okay. Who are you picking? And as our guest, James, you get first round draft pick. So who do you want on your team to complete and get you out of an escape room the quickest?
How many people do you get on a team? Like how many rounds are you doing this?
There's 22 of them.
We're gonna go till we picked all of them?
No, we'll do
4 people per team.
4 people per team.
Pick 3 drivers.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one.
And us plus 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go Carlos Sainz because he gives great feedback.
Oh, okay. I love that.
He's very analytical.
Yeah. I feel like he's level-headed too in a crisis.
Yeah.
All right, Kate, you can go next.
I'm going to do Valtteri Bottas because like he is a man of many talents. And I think that he has more tricks up his sleeve that we don't know about that maybe he could solve some puzzles and some riddles.
Okay.
Feels like someone that might know magic too. So I feel like he's like a good like Riddler. And escape rooms have lots of riddles, right?
Yeah, perfect. For me, this round, I'm going Oscar Piastri. He famously said if he wasn't going to be a driver, he was going to be an engineer. And so talk about someone who could solve puzzles. I think he's probably someone who would be pretty good to have on my team for that.
All right, good one.
Okay, it's so interesting because I feel like so many of the drivers on this grid I would not pick.
Well, too bad. Too bad. You
I
have
was
to
like,
pick
we
them.
simply can't go through all 20 of them or 22 of them because
like Pierre Gasly is like the perfect example of the kid in high school who was like part of a group project that did not contribute at all.
Did zero work. Yeah.
yeah.
But still expected to get the same grade. I'm going to say Nico Hülkenberg for my next time.
Okay. Why?
Just reliable.
Okay.
Yeah, reliable. Yeah. He'll take it seriously.
Steady. Yeah.
I'm going to go Kimi Antonelli because he was just in high school. So if there's math problems, he's probably the most recent to have to
do
know,
algebra,
the Pythagorean theorem and stuff.
I don't know what escape rooms you're going to that make you do like algebra type stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never been to an escape room.
I've never been to an escape room. That sounds like
okay, guys. Well, the next time
there's like puzzles and like maybe like math questions. Like I'm kind of thinking like in my brain, I'm thinking Triwizard Tournament, and I'm thinking like the maze, and like there's like the Sphinx that's asking riddles, and like maybe someone's gonna come out with like a math problem. Like that's where I'm at.
Okay, great. Head. Well, new pitch. Let's pitch to a team that will let us go to an escape room with their drivers. And
these
see.
Teams.
Yeah. Okay. For me, I think I'm gonna pick Ollie Bierman. And the reason for that is I think he is really endearing, and I think that he would also take it very seriously. And I think that we would have a lot of fun.
okay.
I think I would get stressed.
You would.
And he would be like, we're going to figure it out. It's going to be okay. And I'd be like, you're Allie. Thank you.
Is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third and final pick.
I'm going to say Max Verstappen because I think Max Verstappen deep down is kind of a nerd. And I think a task like this would excite him.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
You ever seen him be interviewed about like Minecraft and like different breeds of cats? He lights up.
He loves a fun fact.
He locks in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna say.
Okay, dream team. So wait, remind me who you had? You had who was your first pick?
I had Max,
Max, and Nico.
And Nico.
Okay. Great team.
I like that. For my third and final pick, I'm drafting Charles just to stay on brand. Locked in a room with my man. What could go wrong? He's also very competitive, so I do feel as though he would try really hard.
Yeah. Okay, I love that.
But I just had to be on brand. If I'm drafting a team, Charles is on it.
If Danny was still on the grid, I would not be picking Danny for my escape room team, by the way.
A lot of these guys would contribute nothing to the escape room. They'd sit in the corner like on their phones or something.
Yeah.
Simply nothing.
Yeah, like the last person I want on my team is actually Liam Lawson, by the way. But my third and final pick is going to actually be Fernando Alonso. Wow. For some reason, I think Fernando Alonso is a work smarter, not harder type of guy.
Yeah.
And I think that he truly would be like, guys, we're thinking about this too hard. We can probably jump 12 steps ahead because we know what the end solution of this is going to be. So let's figure out how to get there without doing all the steps in between. And I'd be like, you're right.
Well, he's competitive in like all aspects of his life. Do you remember the interview when he talked about being invited to like play paddle or golf and he had never played before in his life? So he kept delaying it so he could and secretly learned the sport and got really good at it. So when he showed up, acting like he was playing for the first time, he dominated.
I'm obsessed with that.
He's like, typically when someone invites him to do something, he'll go practice secretly for months to get really good at it.
Perfect.
That's me anytime I get invited to a new type of workout class. I'm like, actually, let me go take a couple on my own first so that then I show up and I know what
Let me go to Solid Core in Stanford for a couple of months and then just like crush it when I go to Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly.
Where no one knows me. Exactly. Yeah, I do think that okay, so Kate, you had who was your first pick?
Valtteri,
Kimi,
Charles.
Okay.
Also, Valtteri knows so many fun facts. Remember when he said he was telling Lewis something about like a beaver's penis?
Yeah, he does. He does. He does know
like something. Like he just like knows things that I'm just like. I feel like he has hidden talents.
Yeah. And
I think he'd be good.
And so then me is Oscar, Fernando, and Ollie. Guys, let's make this happen. Let's get our teams together and go to an escape room.
You guys can go. Like the escape room, that sounds like the least fun thing in the world to me. Like being in an escape room with anybody like sounds like hell.
Yeah.
It's a reality show, reality TV show in the making. Put cameras up. I think it's quality entertainment.
I would rather go down a water slide full of chili.
That's a crazy comparison. You're like either or. I don't know.
Like, and when you say chili, are you thinking like a crock pot chili, or are you thinking like chili oil, or are you thinking
no crock pot of chili, like chunky stuff?
He's getting beans. He's getting beans in his crevices. Okay.
There is meat everywhere.
I'm feeling like Gwyneth Paltrow at a sex club right now. I'm gooped and gagged. All right, James, well, I know you have to hop off, but this has been so much fun. Don't be a stranger. We hope to see you have so much fun in Miami this weekend. Can't wait to see whatever it is that you get up to. I know it's going to be fantastic.
I have no idea what I'm doing yet, so I gotta figure that out.
You know, it's kind of when the most magical things happen. So
if you guys see James around Miami, just like just pass along an invite to something that you're doing.
Yeah,
because he was uninvited from Coachella.
Pretty much. Like an F1 team invited me to their garage, and then I said no because I was doing this other thing, and then I got fired from the other thing.
Can you go back and be like, "Hey"?
No, they were like,
we filled the spot. Yeah, we filled the spot.
Yeah,
damn it.
So, which I get, but it's all good.
You know what? I think
uninvited to Coachella.
Uninvited to Coachella, but the universe closes one door and opens another for you. I think something magical is going to happen.
Rejection is redirection.
I love that.
So you go have fun in Miami, James.
You go have so much fun.
You take the weekend by the balls.
I'm gonna try.
Not full of chili.
I feel so bad I have to leave right now. I could stay and like talk to you guys for another hour.
That's okay. Well, you know what? We'll get another one on the books. Yeah, we'll get another one on the books.
So the next race that we all are getting invited to really do things, this will just be an in-person live show.
Which would be Coda, right?
Yeah.
We'll be there.
Yeah, we will be
we
there.
have an Airbnb, and that's it.
We'll do a live show at the Airbnb.
Yeah, it'll be perfect.
Yeah, hell yeah, in the pool.
Like it's Love Island.
At your Airbnb?
Yeah, there's a pool at our Airbnb.
Oh my God.
I said I'm not going unless there's a pool. So there's a pool there. We'll get those pool floats that are like lounge chairs, and the three of us will just be floating, and each one of us will have a designated camera person that has to come around.
We'll all have a DJI mic while we're in our pool floating.
Yes, exactly.
The people are following us with cameras as we just like float around the pool. It's gonna be perfect. I can't wait. It's up here. Lock it in.
All right, James.
Thank you guys.
Okay. Have fun, James. Right. Thank you for coming on. We love you.
Bye.
Okay.
A gem of a human. A gem.
Again, one of my most favorite people ever to exist.
Truly. Just a gift.
All right. Speaking of Miami,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
okay, I think we should start doing this now where we have to pick the podiums and then the loser has to buy the other person coffee or lunch or something. Get a little something on the line.
What if it's not monetary because I'm broke?
Okay, well, what do you want to put on the line then? You have to make an embarrassing TikTok?
Yeah. The other person gets to
The
choose.
trend?
The loser gets okay, but who here's rewind.
Okay.
We gotta set some ground rules
Okay.
here. Because I do think winner gets to choose an embarrassing TikTok trend of their choice for the loser to do.
Okay.
However, how are we determining a winner? Because are we putting up every possible podium combination?
No.
Like, what if we both choose a podium and we're both wrong?
Then if we're both wrong, then it's null and void.
That's lame. We have to have a winner every week, I think.
Well, if you and I then you and I cannot pick the same podium. So what we're going to do is it's going to be we'll rotate. So it'll be like you get to pick first and then I pick. And then we can't both pick like the same first place, second place, third place person. We can have a variety of the same people on the podium, but we can like if you say like, okay, this weekend I'm picking.
Yeah, but what if none of those people are on the podium? Like, what if like
that would be crazy.
And then we just pick a number between 1 and 10.
And then we do rock, paper, scissors, and then whoever loses has to do it.
Yeah, okay, here's the thing. We'll pick the podium.
Yeah.
And
what we could do then is based on like the 1, 2, and 3, then we can add those points up wherever they did. Like first, second, third. And then based on the points value, then that's who wins or loses. If they don't come in the top 3.
Okay. I like this.
Okay.
So you're basically picking your top 3 drivers for the weekend.
Yeah.
And whether or not they're on the podium, their points. If not that none of them are on the podium,
then we're going to points.
We're going to points. Yeah. And worst case scenario, we rock, paper, scissors.
Worst case.
I was gonna say, I was like, do we need to rock, paper, scissors live on the podcast and be like,
see who goes first?
Backup? Or but I was gonna say if we couldn't determine a winner, it'd be like, okay, this is the backup. We're rock, paper, scissoring. Okay, I lost. So if none of the people win, then I'm automatically the loser.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense to me.
Is anyone listening to this making sense of what we're saying? Because
it's making sense to me, by the way. So that's all that matters.
That's all that matters is we're on the same
page.
Wavelength.
Okay. You can go first. Who do you think is gonna be number 1?
I'm going Kimi.
Okay. My number 1's gonna be George.
Okay. P2, Charles.
P2, Kimi.
P3, George.
P3, Lewis. Okay.
Okay.
And now, do you want to do the rock, paper, scissors, or do we want to do the points?
And now we wait. It was like so anticlimactic. Yeah, we might as well do a quick
rock, paper, scissors.
RPS.
Okay.
Why not?
All right, best 2 out of 3?
Okay, and here's the question. No, I think we just do 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. Shoot. Rock, paper,
here's
scissors,
the question.
shoot.
We don't say and shoot.
No, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I hate when people say the and.
Whoever says the and?
People do it.
That's fucked up.
Rock, paper, scissors, and shoot. And I said, or people say rock, paper, scissors says shoot. And I'm like, none of them are saying anything.
No. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay? Ready?
Okay.
Rock, paper. Why are you going so slow?
Because I think we're a little off.
Okay, you just say it. Okay, you just say rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, see, I think they were delayed because you saw me do the rock and then you said you did paper.
No.
Okay, shut your eyes. Don't look. We're not looking, and we have to do it blind.
Okay.
Don't look.
I'm not looking.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, convenient now that you.
Yeah, well, neither of us were cheating.
I was gonna do rock again,
and you should have. I said she's gonna do paper again. I know it. So you're the loser.
I'm not the loser. I technically won the first round.
Yeah, but you cheated.
No, you know what? Now we're going to do best 2 out of 3. Now we're doing best 2 out of 3, by the way. So close your eyes again.
Close your eyes. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Damn it. I'm the loser. I'm the loser now. Okay. So, you're gonna pick. You have a better knowledge of viral TikTok.
Well, I have to win first.
You're right.
So
You're right.
Don't count yourself out.
This is last case scenario.
Worst case scenario. Yeah. You got
okay.
So you got to think positively.
I am. So positive. I'm just scared. I
am excited for Miami though. I'll tell you what. I can't believe we're like finally back. Like I feel like it's the start of the season again. I'm like, oh, F1's back after months.
No, like it's been forever.
Yeah.
It's been forever. I actually woke up this past weekend to watch a motorsport race. I was like, I feel like it's been a minute. Because I watched the MotoGP race in Spain.
Jerez.
Which was Jerez? Yeah, it was great. It was a great race. Very exciting.
And your friend won. Your best friend won.
My bestie won. My man's crashed out, but then my other man's, his brother, my bestie friend, won.
My man's, guys, is in M2, MotoGP 2. So he's not in MotoGP yet. That boy also loves a jort. He loves to post a photo of him in a jort. And
your man?
Yeah, my man.
Well, they all do.
But I am like, I need to remember that he loves a jort because he's also 5'8" and 22 years old. So I need the jorts to like really sit and humble me a little bit. To be like, Nicole, get a grip.
They're all so young. I feel like in that sport, like they're all.
I just like he has like the most handsome face I've literally like ever seen on anyone. I'm like, I'm pissed, and I'm like, you know what? This is like the universe like really saying like, Nicole, he's 5'8". Like he looks so short in those jorts. By the way, they make his little legs look littler.
Well, they all do.
Yeah.
The jorts. I'm like, guys, what's going on?
And I'm sure everyone here is like, what is your obsession with jorts, guys? You cannot stop talking about the jorts. No, we can't. By the way,
I can't and I won't.
I'm literally like Katie Heron talking about Regina George. Okay,
100%. Because do you want to know why? I'm going to remind everyone of something right now. First of all, I'm going to remind you that you're listening to. I'm going to remind you that you're listening to TG1F, an F1 podcast with Kate and Nicole. We're your hosts. My name is Kate.
And I'm Nicole.
And this is our show where we talk about F1 and whatever we want to. And that means we can talk about jorts every single episode if we want to.
2 girls, 1 jort, okay?
And here's the thing about the jorts. I have qualifications that I want to share. People are like, oh man, do you Americans dress ugly too? And I'm like, yeah, fair. They're not mutually exclusive. I'm not saying that we dress better. However, I am saying that the male shorts situation in America trends better.
I'm sorry.
Because if you're taking a pair of baggy pants and you are cutting them, here's the thing. I'm more fine with a cutoff jort than like if they're like above the knee.
The capri shorts, by the way. They're capri shorts.
It's the capris. It's you're wearing gauchos made of denim.
Yeah, and that's
you're wearing gauchos. And I can't get behind that. Especially, here's the thing, it is all of this critique is coming from a place of love. Because let me tell you what. I think these men are handsome.
They're so handsome. And I know those bitches have thigh tattoos. I know those bitches have thigh tattoos.
And I know they have incredible legs. All right. They're
kind of skinny.
They're riding motorcycles. They're skinny.
They're all skipping
but
leg
they've
day.
got muscle. They're no fat, all muscle. Like, I know that they've got some muscles under there. And you guys are not the tallest men for the most part. Okay. And so it's dressing for what you have going on.
But it's also
And
like,
if you were to wear shorts,
give me a
if
5-inch
you were to wear
inseam.
shorts, what?
Give me a 5-inch inseam, baby.
Like 6, even I'd be fine with a 6-inch inseam. Like we need to bring it above the knee by a couple inches.
Kate and
There's
Nicole
also
turn
the
into
shorts.
fashion police, okay?
Okay, Queer Eyes canceled. So we have to. Someone's got to come in here to be the Tan France, okay? And I'm gonna say the jorts that I can't talk about the capri jorts because that is just objectively not a good look.
No.
There's the above the knee jorts. Better.
And by the way,
Better, but
we've
still,
seen,
why are they at the knee?
boys, I seen you post on your story when you're working out in your little compression shorts and your little 5-inch inseams. I've seen them on your
That's what
story.
we're wanting that.
I
And
know
then
you own
there's
them.
a lot of these, and then there's the shorts of normal short material, more of like an athletic short material that are also down all the way to the knee.
Yeah.
And I just am like, we have to go
Adam
mid-thigh.
Sandler core.
Yeah, we need a mid-thigh.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I'm wrong for wanting that.
No.
Let me tell you, a man can say how he likes a woman to dress. They all do. So why can't I say
They have
that
opinions.
I want it to be a little thigh?
And you know what? We have a microphone, and this is our show. And if we want to talk
And
about
this is our
jorts,
show.
we're going to talk about jorts.
And this is coming out of a place of love. Because I want you guys to be
What
presenting
did James just
as
say?
handsome as you are.
That, I don't know if he said this in recording. Never mind. What are we talking about? MotoGP wants to break into the American space.
Yeah.
And you know what? The sex is not selling with jorts. Okay?
No.
Get them in some slutty little shorts, and then we'll talk. And then you'll have 3 races in the US, okay?
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Sorry. That's the key to the only key to success here is sluttier shorts.
Sex sells, thighs sell.
You want to know?
That's it. Period.
Get a little slutty thigh tattoo, wear your little short shorts. Show the sky's out, thighs out, baby. You're in.
Show thigh.
You're
Show
in.
leg.
You're in.
Show me your legs.
Don't be embarrassed.
No. Anyways,
Miami. Thanks so much. Can't wait to watch it. That whole tangent to be like, we're so excited F1's back, by the way.
Yeah, it's so excited F1's back. So not mad we're not there.
Everyone, I'm seeing people today at the conference or even at work. People were like, you're not going to Miami? And I said, I don't want to talk about it.
No.
They're like, what's going on? Why aren't you in Miami? Well, I don't have a BBL, one. So that's why I'm not in Miami. They didn't invite me.
Can't be.
So
I'm actually not allowed.
Not allowed because I don't have my BBL. But also, I don't want to talk about it. Thank you very much.
But also, that's not your business.
Maybe I didn't want to go, by the way.
I didn't. I've been there before and it's hot. And you know what? Maybe I didn't feel like sweating this weekend.
So,
everything about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't want to get a spray tan. So,
I didn't feel like it. I've gotten 2 spray tans in the past month. I didn't feel like I needed to do it again.
Yeah, you can't overdo it.
No, I didn't need it. We didn't need to be there.
And it's fine.
It's fine. We're fine.
Also, I'm literally dying, so I think if I had to go to Miami this weekend, I'd probably pass away. My body would literally shut down.
Yeah. That wouldn't be an ideal situation.
I'd have to fly from San Francisco to fucking Miami. I have hives thinking about it.
San Francisco. You always be flying from San Francisco to a race.
Yeah. So
kind of a trend.
Kind of a trend for me. Anyway, guys, I gotta get out of here.
Anyway, guys, this is Kate and Nicole signing off. Stay tuned for. Also, you want to know what we can't
And
be
you
in
know what?
Miami
Another
because
thing.
and another thing, it would be too much. It would be too much for us to be there for the public hard launch of Kim and Lewis.
Yeah.
It would be too much for us. It would be too much as the ones responsible.
Like, sorry, we actually made that happen and we can't be there to see it come to fruition. That's bad juju.
Yeah. It's not how it works. It would probably give more manifesting power to this going further. So actually, who knows? Maybe she won't be there this week and it's because we're not there.
Yeah.
So we're actually doing a public service by not going so as to not bring our insanely powerful manifesting brains to the race. You know what I'm saying?
Jaw definitely feel.
Yeah.
So Kimchella, actually one of the actually another thing. One of the questions I wanted to ask is, what is their ship name? Clueless?
Get a Clueless.
Is it Chemist? Or is it Limberly?
Limberly.
Hamildashian kind of sounds like a STD.
Cardamilton.
I like that one. That one sounds like a pharmaceutical drug.
Yeah, it really does. Kimber Lewis. Kimberly.
Kimbis. Where's that B coming from, by the way? Kimberly.
That sounds like slang for weed.
Sorry, I've got to smoke this Kimbis.
She's a cannabis Kimbis.
I'm off that Kimbis.
I'm back on the Kimbis. Why are we putting a B in there?
Kimberly. Kimberly.
Oh, Kimberly.
I'm giving us some more letters to play with.
Luberly.
Okay, Lube brand.
Sir Kim.
Sounds like circumcised. Anyway, guys,
work in progress.
Reply in the comments what you think Kim and Lewis's name should be.
Yeah. It's not very easy.
No.
So actually they're destined to fail because there's not a good ship name.
Yeah. And that's key. Okay. Well, for the fourth time now, we got to get out of here.
We got to get out of here. Guys, stop keeping us here. Okay, let us go.
We gotta go.
We gotta go.
But
We gotta get out of here.
Until next time, you guys, we will see you on the internet.
We'll see you on the internet.
We love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.